Hello, everyone. You're watching PokerNews.com. My name is Sarah Herring, and I am joined by Patrick Leonard, one of the founding members of bitB, the original bitB blogger. Now, I just got done reading your blog, which was taking on sort of a controversial topic that I think is actually really relevant, not just in poker, but also outside of poker. In this age of millennials and very expensive universities, you went through some of the merits of maybe choosing to drop out of university and pursue poker full time. I just wanted you to touch on a few of these things, touch on your thought processes, and I think you probably, as you mentioned in the blog, see things quite differently than a lot of, say, moms and sisters out there.
Yeah. Well, firstly, I think there's like huge flaws in like the educational system, especially in the UK. Basically, you go to university when you're 18, and to go to university, you need to do A levels between 16 and 18. So let's say you want to do economics when you're 18. When you're 16, you have to choose which subjects are going to get you into this degree. So maybe you do maths, economics, and business or something. So basically, when you're 15, you have to choose what you're going to do when you're 16. Like you need to apply in advance. So basically, because university is so expensive, you're basically choosing what you want to do for your whole life when you're 15. And I'm not sure about you, but when I was 15, I was the most immature guy possible. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I didn't really care what I did. I was playing sport, whatever else. Like I wasn't really thinking about a career. And I think hardly any 15-year-olds really know exactly what they want to do. So you go to university when you're 21, you go to university 4 or 5. If you do medical school, you go for 7 years. You pay tens of thousands of dollars every year. And then you finish university and you're in huge debt. If you do want to go, let's say you did medicine, but now you want to be a drama student, you can't just say, okay, now I'm going to do drama, because you're in this huge debt that you need to kind of repay, and then you're going to be like 30 by the time you start doing a career, etc. So I think in England there's huge flaws in the educational system anyway. So rather than university versus poker, I think it should be like everything versus university. I think going to university when you're 18 is a very bad decision. I know when I was 18, I was too immature to actually study. Like I didn't go to seminars, to lessons, because I was playing poker, whatever else. I would much rather go to like take a few years out first, do something, learn about life, work in like a hotel, work abroad somewhere. Like visit the world, learn about yourself, what you're passionate about. And poker especially, if you're able, usually when you're doing all this stuff, you're broke, right? So like you're traveling around backpacking with like $1,000 in your bank account. If you're good at poker and you're 19 to 22, and you can make like hundreds of thousands doing this, learning about yourself, go to Costa Rica for 2 months and play poker with some guys who are from Poland or Australia or wherever else, you're just going to learn a lot more about life than the guy who goes to university at 18, drinks his way through 3 years of education, doesn't go to school, doesn't go to classes, doesn't learn about his profession, doesn't really care about his profession. So I thought in general, we actually had a guy who was arguing with his parents, like they want him to quit poker and go to university. And I was just kind of saying to him, look, university is going to be there when you're 24, 25, you're only 22. You can have a good time now, you're in a good place, we're going to look after you kind of thing, like you're on a good course for making, say, 50K a year, 100K a year. Worst comes to worst, you go to university in 2 years, you're going to have $100,000 in the bank. You can enjoy university, be a little bit more mature about it. And maybe you think in 2 years, look, I don't want to do business, I want to do maths, so I want to do some charity something. So that's where it kind of all came from, and kind of what we thought about it. Obviously, we're not saying don't ever go to university or quit poker to go to university. That's not what we're trying to say. We were just trying to express that if you're successful in poker, it's very tough to be successful in poker. You very likely have the attributes to be successful in lots of different things in life, because to get to the top of poker or to be a winning poker player, it's very difficult. In 2016, the competition is very high. So if you realize that in 3 years I've done so much stuff here, then it's likely that you're able to kind of use this kind of drive in other ways too. Maybe you don't have to go to university, like spend these 3 years doing this. Maybe you can go straight into a job, Maybe you can travel around EPTs, find contacts with businessmen who really like you. They think you're a nice guy. They offer you a job or something, Like I know myself and a few other guys in bitB, we've been offered kind of like trade-in jobs or like things from guys who've just been impressed by the way that we recognize patterns. So there was like a guy in Hungary, where I'm from, who's like he runs a hedge fund, and he was really impressed by the way that by the way we'd kind of been successful in the staking and in the poker. And he said, look guys, after poker, you should come to us, and you could even not run a hedge fund, but you could really be like an important attribute in our hedge fund, because you can recognize these patterns in ways where non-poker players just can't do this, you know? So like, let's say if I did decide to go to university and study journalism, which is what I did, which I really loved. But let's say I did something I didn't enjoy, maybe I would have missed out on an opportunity like this. Do you know what I mean? So like, there's so many opportunities if you are successful and if you have the right attitude and charisma, personality, etc. That if you're successful in poker, I don't think you necessarily need to go to university. Let's say it doesn't go well after 3 years, university's still there. You have money still in the bank. Your life's not going to change between 22 and 25. I can't remember where I was at 22 and 25, like how I kind of progressed as a person, so much. So for that guy who I really think should stick in at poker and maybe take a break from university, sabbatical, I think it'd be the correct thing to do.
And if you guys haven't checked it out, you definitely want to check out the blog, because I think it's sort of a template for if you did want to explain to, say, your parents or whomever. There's math in there. There's, the expected value of, time, what it's going to look like if you get out of university in terms of salary versus. It's very well thought out. You could probably put together a little PowerPoint and show your parents what's going on in the poker world. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time, and you guys will definitely want to check out the blog because there's tons of other great stuff. Someone just, it was his name,
The Drunk Life. Yeah.
The Drunk Life just wrote a great blog also, which was super interesting. And
Ben Malinowski as well, the old school legend.
Sauce. Okay, great. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will put a link below if you guys want to check out the blog. Thank you so much.
Thanks.